Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nexus podcast with Heather and Jimmy, your breakdown of all the important news in the world of Blizzard Entertainment. Today is Tuesday, March 2nd, episode 27 of Nexus Podcast. You can check us out on nexuspodcast.com for old episodes, where it is available on all the major podcasting platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, etc. And make sure to follow the conversation at hashtag Nexus Podcast on social media as well. And old video episodes are up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/DJ Tyrant. And check out either of our social medias for our link trees for all the other places you can find us to interact with us: Discord and Facebook and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
but
all that good stuff.
Yeah, let's just jump into it. It's been a couple weeks. It's been a little crazy and hectic. I know. Yeah. It's been 2 weeks basically.
Yeah.
But we did have BlizzCON and we streamed that. So thank you to those of you that did join us. I was genuinely
so fun.
Surprised that people came and hang out with us for opening ceremonies, and I really appreciate those of you who came out. Like, that was a lot of fun.
Because we have friends.
I know.
Our friends came in and hung out with us. It was great.
But yeah,
it was awesome. Yeah. I loved it.
No, it was a lot of fun. No, and I know some of the bigger content creators, like with bigger audiences, kind of I know Bellular complained about it. I think it was he was like it was really kind of distracting because of how negative streams can be when you have thousands of people or hundreds or thousands of people watching.
Oh god, you're right.
And just like being all over the place. I mean, well, the nice thing was with co-streaming is I didn't have Twitch chat or YouTube chat on, so I didn't see everyone complaining about things or being like or making jokes about, don't you have phones? No, I'm funny.
Don't get to hear people complain because they're usually polite in person. They're thinking it, but when they're typing, they're not so polite. The internet's kind of mean or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining for that. Hopefully the next BlizzCon we'll be able to do in person. I mean, it was fun to do it online, but I would rather not ever do that ever again.
Yeah,
I think make that statement here and now.
Yeah, hearing stuff every week with that related to COVID, it sounds like it's gotten better. I just may have jinxed it.
Yeah.
But anyways.
We'll go down that path. We'll just start with our This Week in Geek. As for myself, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go. Friends of the show, Snuggy. I talked about this before, but he has a really cool community around Pokemon. He plays all the Pokemon games, and I want to congratulate him. I don't remember the exact number, so I'm going to be off on this, but I think he raised $8,000 for TakeThis.org.
That's awesome.
Which is focused on mental health in gaming and stuff like that. But yeah, he had it was his whole February month streaming was incentives for that, and he does all sorts of fun stuff. So that was cool to see. I've been hanging out in his chat and doing that. But yeah, he has a channel in his Discord for Pokemon Go raids. It makes it awesome for just putting together raids as needed to get those Pokemons that you got to catch.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, congrats Dougie on that. And it was really cool to see.
That's awesome.
Other stuff besides my cat playing with toys during the podcast, and she hasn't been for the past couple hours. Of course, why do you do this? Why do you do this to me?
Because she's a cat.
But on Sunday, I stayed up late. All of a sudden, I got like the bug to level my priest to 60.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just like burnt out on my Demon Hunter, which I think I am, because we're 2 months into Shadowlands. No, it's not like I'm not going to play my Demon Hunter. It's just like I needed a change of pace.
Okay.
And so
I like how you're rationalizing through this like internal dilemma.
My Demon Hunter is still my main. I'm going to be raiding with him on Saturday. A friend of mine, their guild's running an alt raid, and they invited me, so I'll be doing that.
Okay.
But I did the Threads of Fate, which was really interesting to see how that works. It's not as efficient as going through the campaign as far as XP per hour or stuff like that. But the freedom of being able to do whatever I want is kind of worth it. It's kind of worth it. I was able to just change zones as I felt like I needed to change a pace or queue up for dungeons and stuff like that. And I hit 60 on Sunday night, and so I immediately went and did the world boss and got a 207 piece of gear. So I was really happy with that because I was like,
Ooh.
wow, I already got like a really decent upgrade for my character. And then I did Burning Crusade time walking last week. It was last night.
Yeah, exactly.
Weeks are Tuesday through Monday in WoW land, okay?
Oh, good point.
But yeah, I was surprised I didn't do too bad as far as healing. Like,
I think you were
no
streaming
major
during that
wipes.
too, right?
Yeah, I streamed it.
Yeah, I
No,
saw I
no
saw
major
you
wipes
play
or
it.
anything. So I was really proud of myself. And I played
Congrats.
some PvP with a friend, and PvP is it's such a mess right now.
Oh, is it? Oh
Yeah.
man.
Well, also it's the fact that I'm like really low geared, and once the other enemy team realizes that and realizes that I'm like easy pickings,
See,
they're
my
gonna do
goal when
that.
I would do PvP would just literally be the distraction and run in.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the good players, like my brother and our friend, would then go decimate them. That was my internal goal, whether or not it worked,
That's up to interpretation.
I'm a PvP pro, basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. The only other thing, I mean, it's gonna be the same next week, but WandaVision is absolutely incredible.
It's gonna end this week.
I know next week is the last, or this week, technically. Friday is the last episode for this season. Although I think that might just be a one-off show. I don't know if there's going to be a second season, which would make sense.
I'm just sad.
Well, the fact that there might not be a second season kind of tells you how it's going to end.
No.
Which makes it even more sad. Oh man. But no, like, the show is so good. Like,
it's so
I don't know. It's just hit all the right notes for me as far as like a Marvel TV show, and the feels with everything going on in the world. It in my life lately, like I don't know. I
What's
forget
that line?
I forget what the line is.
What is grief if not love endured? Personified endured, or I gotta find it now. Keep talking.
Yeah, but no, Vision has this is minor spoiler. Vision has this line that he tells Wanda, and it is just so like perfect for his character, because it's like, oh, this AI is observing human life and human grief and how it happens. So what's the line again?
What is grief if not love persevering?
Yeah. Oh, I pretty much lost it at that point. So
yeah,
that was
Marvel.
really good.
Those writers,
highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out yet.
Go binge it now.
Yeah, go binge it. They're pretty short episodes too, but yeah.
I actually had someone in my stream, because I've been streaming in my Weekend Geek, and that had not seen the WandaVision. And I told them, like, you're at a good spot right now because it's like the last episode, and like if you have not been spoiled by a lot of the stuff, go binge it for a couple days or like a day or so, and you will get all of it at once, which is really good. Because that's what I would normally do, but then we started watching it together, so it's been a lot of fun to do that. Okay, so for my Weekend Geek, I've been streaming. I've done more streaming. I've figured out how OBS works. I've modified a bunch of stuff. Used my phone as a camera, which has been great for a lot of the auto zoom or autofocus issues and zooming in and out and stuff. So I've been really liking that for crafting, basically knitting or crafting in general, crochet, whatever. I even started last weekend reading sprints. So basically, I want to get through books. I have a ton of books on my bookshelf here. I want to read the physical books. And YouTube or BookTube has been doing this, where they'll sit together on a live stream and read for like 15 minutes and then talk for like 5 or 10 about what they read. And I'm like, I did one of those, and like that was super fun. But then they're East Coast, so my time was always off. So I'm like, Twitch is kind of made for this live streaming thing. Why don't I not give it a try? So I did one. Jessica joined us, which was super fun, or joined me. So I definitely want to do more of those because it's fun to actually, like, get more of my physical reading done and, not alone. Let's see. I did play some WoW at the same time you were streaming last night, and I am very proud. I feel like I should have like an achievement or like a pin or some badge of honor where I streamed muted.
Oh,
So
the best part about that is we were watching Jessica Blevins stream Ninja's wife today, and she did the same thing.
Yeah, it's a badge of honor. And I muted my mic to cover a cough I had, and then at that
Never
point
turned
I
it back
forgot to
on.
unmute. Nope. Yep. This is why Elgato. I need a switchboard, please.
Yeah, there we go.
Or switch deck, switchboard,
Stream Deck.
Stream Deck. There we go. I know what it is I need.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So that's been mostly my geeky stuff. Like I played a little bit. I played an hour of WoW last night. Watched a ton of BlizzCon stuff. So I really haven't
What
had
class
the.
were you playing?
I played my druid.
Okay.
My Worgen druid. She's now level 36, I think. I got 3 levels on her, which is good.
Yeah.
And then in real geekiness, real life geekiness, I got my first COVID jab or shot. I got my first COVID shot. As a teacher, California just opened up on Thursday last week to get educators to get the vaccination. And you kept pushing me to go get it because you were reading different articles of information. And basically the 90-day requirement that the CDC had on me for having COVID only really applies now. They looked into it if you had been in the hospital receiving a medical treatment. Like there's some medical treatments that deal with antibodies.
There was like 2 specific things, and there's like transfusions, I think, basically.
Mm-hmm. And I did not have that. I stayed home. So did my whole house. So my brother and I both got our COVID jabs, which is a British term for a shot. And my dad is getting his tomorrow. So I'm going to go with him to the VA, and we're all going to get inoculated.
Yep.
For the first one.
The 15th, hopefully I can sign up for mine.
Yes, because I heard there's a buttload of them coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully things are going well.
And the Johnson & Johnson shot just got approved, so
yeah,
all
fingers
sorts of
crossed.
stuff happening in that arena.
Yes. And then doing good stuff as well. Last week, I actually, our good friends at Leyline I started using more of their Leyline points, and I saw that I had enough for a Nintendo gift card for $10.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a Nintendo gift card using my Leyline points, which I love. And I realized I don't need $10 in the Nintendo eShop. Like I have a lot of games I'm not touching.
Yeah.
So your sister just got a Nintendo Switch. So I decided to, with my doing good points of Boink and everything like that on my computer, I gave your sister my $10 gift card to Nintendo.
There we go.
So thank you, Leyline, for letting me.
She'll be happy with that.
She bought Stardew, so she better be happy with it.
Yeah, I know that just recently got a really big update, and a lot of people have been playing it more often.
Yes, but then it's competing with her Animal Crossing right now, so it's a dilemma. It's a real. Rachel will now know what it's like.
Yeah.
But gosh. Thanks, Leyline, for having me do good and sharing the fun of games. Like I appreciate it.
I'm being more selfish with my Leyline points. I've built
conservative.
I've built up to 5,000, and I'm waiting for Bitcoin to be back up on their store.
Yeah,
because I would like to get in on that and not have to spend money on Bitcoin
while saving the world
or anything
with
like
your
that.
Computer.
Exactly. Yeah.
So hopefully there's more gift cards coming soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, so that's the Week in Geek, but let's go on to kind of the big news the past couple weeks, or past week, I guess. BlizzCONline happened.
It was a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. We're not going to recap everything.
It was a lot of things.
You've all read the news about what was announced, all that stuff. Yeah. We're going to kind of go over our 3 favorite things about the event. I guess they're really more the panels.
Yeah.
For me, number 1 was the World of Warcraft deep dive. Because we got introduced to a new person at Blizzard, Holly Longdale, and
she was a new hire.
She might be my new favorite person at Blizzard.
I love her.
Her energy and her nerdiness is so infectious. Yeah. I love it. So she's like, I don't know if she's like the director on the Burning Crusade Classic that got announced or not, but you can tell 100% that
Her heart and soul.
she played Burning Crusade like hardcore, and
Yeah.
she's super excited about bringing it to today, and I'm excited for it because that's Burning Crusade is my absolute favorite expansion of World of Warcraft, lore
Exactly.
wise, and all sorts of other things. So it'll be interesting to see if it's the nostalgia glasses for me or not.
Well, and I think it comes. I watched. Well, in the WoW deep dive, they talked about all the iterations of WoW.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the fun part because it was Warcraft Classic and it was also World of Warcraft, and hearing them all talk about how they're taking bits from each of the franchises, like the quality of life updates,
Mm-hmm.
and putting that into Burning Crusade is super reassuring that at least, we know that the heart is in Blizzard.
Yeah.
Whether or not those decisions are brought to the top is another question. But yeah, that deep dive was like really nice. It was like, it felt good after watching that.
This is what you have to do with remasters, I feel like, or remakes,
Mhm.
is you have the heart of the game still in there, but you make improvements where you can to make the experience better.
Yes.
Which in a little bit we're talking about the Diablo 2 remake as well, because they did that for that. But they're balancing it out where both Horde and Alliance Paladins get the same seals, because back then they had each unique seals, and so that was a little bit of a balance challenge. And so they just said, screw it, let's give everyone equal playing field here as far as the spells that they have access to, which makes sense. And it's gonna be similar to WoW Classic, where it's gonna be the latest patch as far as balance and itemization is concerned.
Yes.
Which I think is really good. And I don't think they've confirmed it yet, but I'm pretty sure that means that we're not going to have consumable stacking, which is the thing I really hated the most about regular Burning Crusade. So, for those who are not familiar with that, basically,
back in my day, this is what we're going into.
You didn't have a limit on the amount of potions and flasks you could apply to your character.
Mm-hmm.
So you literally had like 10 to 12 potions and flasks on you for raiding. Mm-hmm. And it was very expensive or time consuming, depending on which route you went of farming a bunch of herbs or buying off the auction house.
Yeah, I think Blizzard, they are well aware of their strengths and weaknesses in the past games, especially since they were fans themselves. And that's what I loved with Holly Longdale, is that she definitely talked the talk. And being the fan too, and now having the new role in what she's doing now, and it was really, really cool to hear that. And it was a literal round table they were talking around, like, so it was a really cool dynamic.
It was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
The 9.1 stuff was really good too. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a little concerned it's a little further out than we all think it is.
Mm-hmm.
905 will tide us over a little bit. And I'd guess that's in like 2 weeks at most.
Maybe
it's still in the PTR, but John Haidt said it would come out March. He promised March on stage.
Therefore, it must happen.
It must happen. Yes. And I imagine we'll get at least 2 months on that patch, so that puts us at late May for 9.1. But I think it might be more like June. Probably.
So I think we should alternate our favorites here.
So So if you're looking to get Keystone Mask, you probably have at minimum 2 months left to do it.
Okay.
It's a reminder of myself as well, because I need to do that. Okay, what about yours?
Okay, so my first one was the smaller panels, actually, that weren't even like, this one wasn't even highlighted in like actual text on the BlizzCon schedule. Mm-hmm. It was the World of Warcraft Shadowlands sound creation panel, and it was only like a half an hour long, but it basically was the Blizzard sound team basically walking you through how they approached the new zones in Shadowlands in creating the sounds and the atmosphere especially. And it was so refreshing just to watch that panel, because I wasn't expecting a lot from it. because I know the zones. I've been in the game. I've played it so far. But it was kind of like, I remember a couple of years ago hearing the music director, who's no longer there anymore, say, if you notice the music, we're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And with Shadowlands, it was also that same mentality in a way that if you notice it, it's too abrupt. But yet when they were just playing the sound, audio, and the ambience of everything, like the wind blowing in Revendreth compared to Ardenweald,
Oh yeah.
it was amazing. And it was so cool to hear like the the sound artists, I don't want to call them musicians, but sound artists really sharing their craft. Like this is a creative job, and they are being able to do that. And it was so fun to watch and listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have not seen the sound creation panel, it's not even, there's no text even. Look for it at BlizzCon, because that is definitely a gem among all the panels that were at BlizzCon, because there was a lot of stuff to watch.
Yeah, there really was.
Yeah, Jimmy, have you seen that panel yet?
I actually haven't. It's definitely
Okay,
one I'm going to check out. I
love
know,
it.
I know. I'm a sucker for music and sound stuff.
Exactly.
I'm going to agree to disagree a little bit about I think it was Russell Browder who said it about if you notice the sound, then we're screwing up. The one example of that where I don't think that's true is Grizzly Hills and Wrath of the Lich King.
Oh.
When you zone in there and the music swells and it just is so good. My cat is being obnoxious. Hey.
I think. Do you want to go get her collar off?
Nope. That's not the problem.
Oh.
Keep going.
I saw her run off the couch. I think it's not so much of you notice that we're doing it wrong. It's more of with Grizzly Hills especially, you feel that music. It's not like, oh God, music change. That was abrupt and interrupting. It was more of the idea that you felt it and you were able to experience it. That was really revolutionary. Because I'm going to go to my second one since you're moving boxes. My second favorite is the Overwatch panel as well, and it was a small one, barely noticeable on the schedule, creating a soundtrack for Overwatch. And that, if you have not seen that, Jimmy, you're going to love this as well. It's a Blizzard music director, Derek Duke, talks on the composer's responsible for some of the most iconic scores in the world of Overwatch. And it's similar to what you were saying, like with Grizzly Hills. You go into that zone and you hear that, and it just is all encompassing. Same with the Overwatch. I never really noticed the music in Overwatch, but hearing it isolated on this little panel, you felt those emotions. Like they were saying how every song they worked on had to have a heroic feeling, like uplifting, and like they legit do it. I don't know how, but these musicians.
There's that song on Route 66 with the guitar. It just is so like, it's America. I don't know. It's like,
yeah, right.
It's so good.
And it was like these two panels made me realize like the craftsmanship that Blizzard really do put into their games. And it was sound for my soul almost, being a Blizzard fan.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was those two panels like that's the stuff that I really dig for. It's like behind the scenes stuff at Blizzard that I love for BlizzCon, and those two panels especially, maybe an hour long in total, did not disappoint. I loved them. You need to watch them.
And the thing about them being online is obviously we can see all these panels, and these were like panels that sometimes not recently, because they've been good about broadcasting all the panels, but earlier years of BlizzCon, they would be on these side stages that had no cameras, no recordings of them, unless you found a recording on YouTube that someone put up or whatever. So it's cool to see these kind of risen up to prominence a bit.
And the quality too, like it was pre-recorded, it was edited, it was done very well. I loved those two. What was your number two?
My number two, coincidentally, is the Diablo 2 remaster. I forget the official name of it. I can't remember it. Diablo 2.
Oh,
Resurrected. There we go. Yeah. Because they showed the trailer at the opening ceremonies and all that stuff, and
so good.
It was like, okay, it looks good, but like, how faithful is it to the original? What are they gonna do to make it different? And I'm like 90% assured that this will be a good remaster.
I'm like 95.
Just based on what they talked about and how they want to keep the heart of the game or the soul.
No.
But like we said with Burning Crusade, they're making these quality of life changes that I was so ecstatic about. Auto gold pickup is an option.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it on, but I will have it on because I'm spoiled from Diablo 3, and that is my favorite feature of Diablo 3. It's such a small thing, but it's a thing that you notice when you go back to Diablo 2 and you're like, oh, I gotta pick up gold again. Oh my gosh.
It's the first thing I turn on in settings when I reinstall WoW is the auto pickup. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I can totally relate to that. And they will not overlap or overtake the Diablo 2 install if you have the original.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. And also, this is, I think, a really big deal. First of all, it's being released on consoles, which is good. Switch, Xbox, PlayStation.
Had to choose?
No, you don't have to choose.
I have to buy multiple copies.
You can buy. You have to buy multiple copies.
Yes, my wallet will have to
But
choose.
you have cross progression.
Yes, not cross play, cross progression.
Yeah, I don't know if they mentioned anything about cross play at all. But
I think they said they were looking into it. It was like undetermined answer.
Yeah,
they like kind of skipped over it intentionally.
And then also a shared stash, which will be nice.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for auto gold pickup, and I'm excited for just the online improvements that they're obviously going to bringing it into the new BattleNet system.
Yeah.
So,
and it looks
the only
so
thing
good.
that made me a little hesitant, and if you watched on stream, you could kind of see my reaction to this, was when they were like, "Oh, all the Diablo 2 cinematics are going to be remastered."
Yeah.
They said the same thing about Warcraft 3 Reforged, and that did not happen. So that's why I was like, that's why I'm only 90% and not like any higher. Like,
this is the same company that did
it's Vicarious Visions who did Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yes, and we love that.
One of the best remasters of a game of all time.
So
I have faith.
Yeah, I think
I'm reserving a little bit. I'm not going to pre-order it. That's what I'll say. So I'm not going to pre-order it.
I think one of the things that goes in that company's favor is the garlic, the hanging garlic.
Oh my gosh.
And I forgot the joke during the stream, but they actually,
I forgot about that.
The company that did the remastering noticed some artwork, some pixels in like some of the taverns or whatever. And then all of a sudden Blizzard's team was like, what's that hanging from on top of the shelf? And they're like, oh, it's garlic. In the original game, there was some pixels that was hanging garlic. And now it's like
reference art for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, so that's what that is.
Exactly. So hopefully that remastered is legit beyond just garlic.
Yeah.
Because some high def garlic, you can't go wrong in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Cookie Mama, but better and more gory.
For sure. Do you want to go to your final?
My third one? Sure. Yeah. So the third panel was a literal, not roundtable, but a roundtable discussion of World of Warcraft, shocker, and it was lore in relation to the evolution of Thrall, the green Jesus that we all love. And it had Tyrion Gregory, Christy Golden, my fave, and Sean Copeland, who is the awesome author for the book that's coming out about Shadowlands. But it was Blizzard's story and franchise development team as they look back at the evolution of the iconic World of Warcraft Thrall. And it was just really fun to hear, like, literally, like, I knew Thrall's story. I've read the books. I've seen the lore. But just hearing it retold from, like, these three people that love that character and know it so well. Like, even Christy Golden was talking about how it was so enriching for her. Once again, this, like, good for the heart experience to just talk about this character she grew to love and kind of mold in a way with Chris Metzen and everything else at Blizzard. And it's that craftsmanship. It's like, I basically at BlizzCon, my highlights were the creative storytelling, the sound, and the music from Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my BlizzCon love for this year.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was my third favorite. What about yours?
Speaking about like touchy-feely kind of things,
yes,
the World of Warcraft voice actors panel. I wasn't going in expecting a therapy session, but that's
legit
exactly what we had.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I should have wrote this down, but
I might remember
the voice actress for Draka.
Oh my god, I know who it is.
We were watching it and we're like, wait, we recognize her, and then we start looking her up while we're watching the stream, and she's been on like a billion different things. She was on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
She was a voice in the Proud Family, the Disney animated
her
show.
Name Deborah Wilson.
Deborah Wilson, yes.
Deborah Wilson, amazing.
And she
also badass too.
She's total badass. She actually quit Mad TV over a pay dispute.
Good for her.
Because she totally
she's rocking it now.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh man. It felt almost like I was at church, kind of. It was really good. Like, just the whole panel was great. And what's the voice director's name?
Oh gosh.
I love her because she's great because she's all over the place, but she just wears her heart on her sleeve. And like, I don't know, with everything that's gone on with COVID and just everything was very much like, how are you doing? How's your feelings? How are you feeling? What have you been doing to cope and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And it was nice to see them all together.
Yes. Well, she talks about how it's like a family every year. And
I mean, it really is.
In this session was literally a family catching up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what I find interesting, this is from one of the other, I think either the WoW Q&A and also the voice actors panel, but Bwansandi, they weren't like expecting to bring him into Shadowlands, really.
Yeah.
From what it sounded like. But because the reception of him from the player base was so positive, they're like, oh my gosh, we have to do something with him in Shadowlands. And so that's why he's in the other side dungeon and why he's still a part of the WoW lore right now.
And they even confessed too with Sire Denathorus.
Yeah.
Same thing. His voice was so good, and I could drink that guy's voice up all day long.
Yeah, so smooth. As soon as that came out, they're like, oh no, everyone likes him. We can't kill him off completely.
Yeah, because he was supposed to die at the end of that raid. Apparently, like the vessel was used.
Yeah, he was supposed to be done, but he's in the sword now. Spoilers.
So we can still hear him.
You've had 2 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. If you're looking for something very heartfelt, WoW voice actors panel is very good.
All right, her name, the director, is Andrea Toyas.
Okay.
Andrea.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think especially every BlizzCon, it is like a family, and both the Overwatch, but mainly the World of Warcraft, especially, it was a therapy session with family. And I love how like actors are just like emotional creatures.
They really are. Yeah.
And they wear their heart in their sleeve and they portray it and they act it out. And it's like just seeing them just by themselves. Like there was no fan interaction of like us cheering them on or laughing or making jokes. It was just them like basically talking their life and how like they're getting through it all and the characters, and it was so good.
Yeah. And going back a couple of years to BlizzCon 2019, we went to the WoW voice actors panel there. We didn't know that this was going to be a thing, but they like stage acted 2 of the cinematics. It was it was so good. And Taryn Gregory was Thrall.
Yes.
As a stand-in for Chris Metzen, and he did fantastic. That was such a cool thing to see live. Like shameless plug. You can see them on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/DJTyrant. Because we did record them, but
we did.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, BlizzCon. I mean, we've been all like rainbows and flowers, but I mean, it wasn't all perfect. I don't know.
Yeah. There's room for improvement.
Yeah, definitely room for improvement. I think both of us kind of came away with the like, oh, it was really short. Like that's it.
That's it.
Because the first day was from like 2 to 7 p.m. maybe, and we're so used to BlizzCon being there at 8 a.m. and not leaving the show for like 9 or 10 or something like that usually.
From 2 to 5:30 on the first day.
Wow.
And then the
even
second
shorter
day was,
than I thought.
and the second day was from noon to 4:30. So very short in length. And I think it's hard because there was a lot of stuff in each of the categories because there were 6 channels. But even then too, some of those channels had replays. So it wasn't like every channel had something different. It was like, oh, well, there's a replay of this. Like the community did the whole the community
event was like on
all the channels.
4 out of the 5 channels, I think.
All of them.
Least?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Community showcase. So it was just like, it felt like there was a lot of placeholders that were being filled with a lot of stuff. I still haven't watched it all.
I haven't either.
But I didn't leave feeling overwhelmed of like, oh, I have so much to watch. It's just more of like, okay, I don't want to watch all of it. I only want to watch a few. I'm not, feeling, I don't have that FOMO basically.
Yeah. And side note, sorry, I didn't put this in notes, but I do want to acknowledge and thank Blizzard for
don't do it.
I know, I'm sorry. But for putting in the tribute to our friend Jared.
Yes.
Like I was expecting it, not expect it at the same time. So I don't know. It was, oh man, it is shit-eating grin in the picture is so like perfect and so him. So yeah,
he would have loved and hated that photo.
No, he would be eating that up. That Darren
oh my
Paul
gosh
announced him.
That was really great.
But yeah,
it was Jared's last chance to be in the community showcase, and it was perfect.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. Other complaints I kind of had with BlizzCon, when your headline is just in quotes a remaster, that's not that great of a show, I feel like.
Well, isn't it like every other year, like there's real announcements and then there's always like filler?
Yeah, usually.
Was this the filler?
This was the filler year because 2019 had Shadowlands,
Overwatch 2,
in Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And speaking of Overwatch 2,
what's that, Jimmy?
That was not shown on the opening ceremonies on main stage at all, and that felt weird to not have something there for Overwatch. Like no cinematic, which I guess I shouldn't have been expecting a cinematic, I feel like, but
they could have teased like a cinematic or even a character art, like something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was all relegated to a panel. And the updates are nice. Panel. It looks good. We're just waiting at this point. I don't know.
It makes us anxious because it's like, why is there nothing to tell us? Like, you could tell us anything and it would have been newsworthy because we don't know a lot about the game. So it makes us a little nervous of like, is there anything new about the game?
Overwatch got as much stage time on main stage as Heroes of the Storm.
You're not bitter at all.
I'm sorry.
You didn't talk to anyone at the Hilton party. Oh my god, we gotta talk about that.
Oh my gosh.
We gotta talk about that after their disappointments. Because it's a disappointment in love. So those were like your gripes. My gripe was kind of the idea of there was a lot of filler content creator dependency, it felt like, to fill this schedule for BlizzCon. Now, I love me some content creators, Jimmy. And their craftsmanship, like Zoe doing the cool like clay thing, and there was the cooking stream, which was really well done. But that's not BlizzCon level in my head to be on like the main stages. So it just kind of felt very filler. Like I want Blizzard employees leading this stuff.
Those feel like one of those like side booths you go to at the convention, like the whole Lego thing.
Yes.
In 2019. Like that's not shown on stream or anything, but it's something cool for the attendees.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and it's like, I remember like I watched the cooking stream and I'm like, okay, this is a cool cooking stream. But then like they didn't really talk about the book. They only talked about her cooking while, talking memory lane about Burning Crusade. And I'm like, that's cool and all, but I would really have liked you to have some features of the book and have the author there maybe. There was a lot more of improvement that could have been done. And I understand being pre-recorded, but at the same point, seeing the soundtrack panel and the evolution of Thrall and the Shadowlands sound creation, those were pre-recorded, but that high BlizzCon level of content is where I'm really thriving to have more of. So I don't know if it was, I understand 2021 is a thing, or 2020 was a thing. I understand that they're not in office yet, but they've had more time. I thought they could have had more of that effort, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree there.
Yeah, so that was a little disappointing. But to change notes from being critical,
oh my gosh,
you gotta talk about this Hilton lobby shenanigans.
Oh my god! So
and the PG version, Jimmy.
Yeah, so Shindigs, he's a community member who's been involved with StarCraft and stuff like that, but he put together a VTuber stream on Twitch of an after party for BlizzCon after the panels had been shown. And it was we were role playing as if it was BlizzCon 2014. So we were all talking about stuff that like got announced that year, and what's this new Overwatch game and all this stuff. And it was terrible and cringy and awesome all at the same time. He had a like muffled loud music in the background, but also like the murmur of people talking. So it sounded exactly like the Hilton sounds like after BlizzCon.
It was like an ambiance track.
Yeah.
To be in the Hilton lobby. And he was yelling and yelling into the mic.
He was yelling into the mic and all this stuff.
I can't hear you. Hey, where's the drink tickets?
I think Mike Morheim's coming to this party.
Yeah. Isn't that that one developer?
Gosh. Oh man.
And he did this both nights.
He did it both nights. And it was surreal because all these people who I haven't like seen in years or like heard from in the community like showed up in Twitch chat and were there. It was just very surreal. Yeah, Sir Scoots was there. D9. Michelle Fawn. No, Michelle Fawn.
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh my gosh.
Michelle.
Oh my gosh. Why am I drawing a blank?
Oh my gosh, Kim Fawn.
Kim Fawn. Holy crap. I am so sorry.
Different genre completely.
Oh man.
But yeah, like a bunch of people from BlizzCon community the BlizzCon community regulars were in the Hilton lobby, and it was cringy in what you were looking at. It was like a stock image of a lobby,
like
stick figures that he was moving around.
My favorite thing is I invited you to come, and you were in there for like 2 minutes. You're like, I'm done, I'm out.
It was stressful,
and that was just like how it is in real life for you, though. You hate those things so much.
I want to get through it and go straight to the hotel.
And I was go to bed.
And I legit went to bed. I was like, I'm done for the night. I'm going to bed.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
And then the second night, he did it in a hotel room. He went to the lobby for a little bit, and then he went to the hotel room after party because there's always some suite that gets destroyed.
And then they went to Denny's, and then they went to the airport.
IHOP.
Or IHOP. Yeah. I don't know. IHOP's better than Denny's. No contest.
My family might be watching, so I can't say.
That's too bad. That's unfortunate.
But no, it was my favorite joke, and the favorite joke was them in the hotel room, and they're like, there's this thing called live streaming, and they're like, what's that? And he's like, well, did you ever hear that website called Justin TV? What's that website? Yeah, it's like YouTube, but you do it at the same time. And I was just like, I was so old.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But it was genius because he got a bunch of follows and subscribers, and I hope he made a ton of money from it because it was perfection.
Yeah,
I almost want this in real life.
No, it was pretty cool. Another thing I did, I don't know if I told you about this, but the Heroes community kind of put together a big Discord Zoom call, and we all hung out for a bit. That was a lot of fun.
I was falling asleep.
What we ended up doing though, which was actually pretty cool, was we found like hero streamers with like really low viewer counts and went and rated them. We're like, hey, from BlizzCon, like all this stuff. It was super fun. We got to make some people's days, so that was cool.
It's awesome.
And it was good to see a lot of faces I haven't seen in person in a long time.
I miss them.
Yeah.
Next year.
Next year.
This year? This year?
No, I don't think it'll be this year.
2022. Next year.
Comic-Con got moved or canceled for this year,
Yeah.
so I don't think this year.
2022.
I'm okay waiting until 2022.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about news of stuff.
The actual news or something?
Actual news.
What?
Well, with World of Warcraft, I mean, you don't need us to recap 9.1. You can all read that there. You know
Go
what's
watch
coming.
the panels. They're on YouTube.
And 905 Wahed has that all covered. But I think this is a very interesting topic in the volume of people and high level content creators talking about this has become louder and louder, and this even came up a little bit in the WoW Q&A. And we'll touch on that in a bit, but basically people are talking about how solo queue is needed in WoW. Solo queue in the sense that for PvP, for any of the like ranked PvP stuff, you have to form your own groups, and you have to do that through the group finder or outside of the game forming groups. There's no way for you to just hop in the game and get into ranked PvP without setting up beforehand or in game. And that might just be an artifact from how old World of Warcraft is, because if you compare it to any other modern game that's competitive right now, there are solo queues in all those games. There's solo queue in League, there's solo queue in Overwatch, there's solo queue in Heroes. I mean, this is all like this kind of basic stuff for modern competitive games. And it's really starting to show as a problem for, I think, the growth of the game, especially with PvP. Is you can watch the Arena World Championship, but then if you want to go do that, you have to go find a group to play with to gear up, and you have to provide your arena rating and all this stuff. And it was a very interesting podcast I listened to on Skill Capped with Civix, Stoops, and Vinruki. They were very candid about how this like really needs to change to help with the growth of the game. So I'm really interested to see if Blizzard does do this, and I think they really need to help with the growth of the game. And I know some of the complaints are like, the comps will be all messed up and whatnot if you just solo queue. You'll have these totally ineffective comps, but like, how is that any different than having to put together groups right now and just try to kind of scrape together what you can? They did talk about another solution being just adding cross-faction play, and this was something that was touched on the WoW Q&A.
Nope.
Ian Hazzikostas very diplomatically said
Nope.
but don't say no forever.
Oh, you're right. He did say that.
So, I mean, this has been a thing that, like, I've been kind of wanting, and I honestly expected it to be a thing in Shadowlands with Battle for Azeroth ending. That seemed like a natural thing to change from a lore standpoint.
We're all
it's like,
in the dead world.
The fourth war ended. We need to band together against the Shadowlands,
the death,
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just like, this was specifically talking about PvP, but this also could be applied to Mythic Plus as well, because it has the same exact problems. You have to find a group in game, and you have to use this tool, Raider.io, that's not official Blizzard. It's just a community tool to kind of arbitrarily determine how experienced someone is running Mythic Dungeons. And that has its own. We could do a whole podcast on Raider.io and the positive and negatives of that. But I don't know. I know this is probably something you wouldn't benefit necessarily from.
Are you putting me in a box?
No, you
it's
play
you're
more
accurate.
casual than me. You're
Yeah.
not going to set foot into Mythic Plus or ranked PvP. But I don't know, as a casual player, do you think this is something that could help with the game?
I don't know. I've been slowly understanding what your issue is, and I recently just watched a YouTube video kind of analyzing why MMOs aren't as fun anymore. And this is kind of that difficulty. And even when you compared it to like Overwatch, I think it's the games weren't designed to be this type of solo queue and having to have teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that if you really wanted to do it, you really did get your friends from your college dorm and actually go make that team. But then now, since we're not in that type of environment, and the gaming world has definitely shifted too from, LAN parties being a real thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it. How they fix it, I don't know. But yeah, even then, we have a lot of examples that do work. And as I think it's optimistic in that, as Akasa said, it's no right now, but not forever, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Does leave that discussion open for them, because they are competing. So, and I think they have to. In the video I was watching, MMORPGs are struggling to compete, and that is a reality because I love them, but my students, what are those? They'd rather just play something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't affect me per se, but if it affects the game that I love from not living longer, then I am all for that possible growth of it.
Yeah, and I think I'm also have a little bit of a unique perspective in that
nerd.
My friend who came back for Shadowlands, he really got into PvP, and he's been trying to take it seriously and try to rank up through that stuff. And I just hear all the nightmare stories he has of getting into groups and people just not taking it seriously, which I mean, that's you're allowed to not take it seriously, but like I don't know, like it's hard to find the right-minded people who are the same
social engineering almost.
And and that you vibe together socially with, because he's like, oh, I go in this group and like half the people are drunk or high and not taking it seriously.
Oh my gosh.
It's really annoying. So
I think, and I remember him having these issues years ago when he quit WoW.
Yeah.
So the fact that hasn't changed is not good.
I mean, they should have the same issues that were in vanilla, although it was a little different in vanilla.
Of course.
We'll talk about that, but yeah, it's just like this solo queue thing could be a very simple solution, simple quote unquote, to the problems that they're having.
Mm-hmm.
But
then speaking of,
and even Ian talked about this, that they know that there is a problem with Horde versus Alliance, where Horde is just a lot easier to find groups for things, just in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then on to the next game that is happening stuff with Overwatch, because we talked about how the newer games are now transitioning to a new mentality. There's some Overwatch League stuff happening, like some schedules, you say?
Yeah, they announced this at BlizzCon finally. It was
you were anxious for this.
It was late February. I was at this time last year. We were watching season 3 of Overwatch League.
Yes.
Okay. But they did announce April 16th is going to be the start date. Map pools and hero pools return, which I'm happy with. Hero pools, I really liked last season. Basically, hero with a high enough play rate gets put into a pool where they pull from, and they ban 2 DPS, 1 tank, and 1 healer from that pool, just to force flexibility in composition, so we don't see the same thing over and over. So I'm excited to see that return. But the 2021 season will consist of 4 tournament cycles. So the tournament format that they transitioned to after going online last season, teams will play 4 matches each cycle to determine qualification and seeding for each of the tournaments, with the May Melee, June Joust, Summer Showdown, and Countdown Cup being the names of those tournaments.
3 times fast.
No, I'm not going to try. But the interesting thing about this is teams from both regions, East and West, will compete in the 4 tournaments. In the West, the top 6 qualifying teams will play round of knockout matches with 2 teams advancing to the tournament weekend in the East. The top 4 qualifiers will play down to 2 teams, and the top 2 teams from the East and the West will then play in a double elimination bracket to determine a tournament champion. Now, this is the interesting thing. Health, safety, and travel conditions permitting, the top 2 West teams will travel to Hawaii for tournaments, where they will play against the top 2 qualifying teams from the East via directly routed connection from Hawaii to Asia.
Oh my gosh.
And if necessary, they will pivot back to regional online tournament model with separate champions.
If I remember, I think Hawaii's been really strict on like travelers coming in and quarantining. So that might be the best spot to do it.
Yeah. So from my reading this, only the teams from the West go to Hawaii. The Asian teams stay in Asia.
Yeah.
But just because it's physically closer, they can have a better connection than from the continental US. Is it really? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Yeah. That's genius. Yeah. Thank you, Hawaii, for existing. And hopefully they don't get too distracted with the beaches.
But if you're itching for some Overwatch League action beforehand, we do have this new event that was announced on social media for Overwatch League.
So if you're on Twitter.
Yeah. This wasn't announced on their website for God knows what reason. But there's an experimental card tournament, and there will be 6 panelists determining the rules for the experimental card tournament. So basically, they get to make the rules on what balance changes are going to be made here. And it'll be really interesting. So it's a mix of players and commentators and some community people. Sabiobli from the NYXL, Alan Guy. I'm not familiar with him, but I think he's a Korean caster. J1, Fran, Soon in Space. So if Tracer isn't like absolutely busted with this group, like buffer like crazy, I will be very disappointed, because there are 2 Overwatch League players that love Tracer that should do that.
So question, what does it mean, experimental card tournament? So
experimental card is a relatively new thing in the past year that Overwatch has done to basically test changes on the live server.
Okay.
So they want to test balance changes. That's how they've been doing it versus a PTR. So it just gets more people to play it. And this is a good way to try it out, just to show what the balance changes look like with pro players. So I'm excited to look for this, but the panel discussion will be March 14th at 12 p.m. Pacific on YouTube Gaming. So definitely check that out if you're itching for some Overwatch League content.
Yeah, that's not, professionals playing.
It will be. This is
not all.
This is the discussion to determine the rules for the professionals to play.
That is fancy. That'll be interesting. You know what? One thing I forgot to mention is I didn't realize that there's a Overwatch community made creations in the workshop that they have for Overwatch. That was something I picked up from BlizzCON. And so that made me now a lot more interested in how the fan base is involving themselves in the development of Overwatch. It's really cool.
Yeah, well think of the workshop as more
Sandbox.
Like I don't know. I guess you didn't really play this, so I don't know if it's a good reference for you.
I watched the panel.
The StarCraft custom game modes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's similar to that. There's actually
watch the panel.
Really cool ones.
They'll tell you.
I will watch the panel. But no, I've played some really fun stuff.
Mini games and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like jump challenges with Lucio and Doomfist and not touch the ground and all that stuff. So.
All right. So next game.
Moving on. Diablo. There's a whole lot of stuff here, but
not game, series.
Yeah.
Section.
Since there's technically like 4 things to talk about.
Yeah.
4 games technically.
Right.
Diablo 4, we had the rogue class detailed, and it looks like a bit of a mix of the rogue from Diablo 1 and assassin from Diablo 2.
Watch our clip on Twitch if you haven't seen it, because we react.
Extremely badass. And I think I found the class that I'm going to play in Diablo 4.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'll be mad if you don't play it.
Yeah.
I fully expect it, because I'm not playing it.
I think people are waiting for a Paladin-esque class as the last one. So
this is the opposite.
Oh my gosh. And that cinematic, if you haven't seen it, don't watch it with your little kids around.
Don't watch with earbuds.
It is Diablo, so I don't know what you expect, but
don't wear earbuds.
Like,
don't wear a headset. Take one out or something. But
if you're Evander Holyfield, I wouldn't recommend watching it. Is that too deep of a reference that people don't understand? Am I old?
What does that mean?
Evander Holyfield had his ear bit by Mike Tyson during a boxing match.
Yeah, you're 4 years old. No, you're 2 years older than me, so you're old. Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a fail. All right, moving on to Diablo 2 Resurrected.
I get the reference.
Okay, actually, we basically talked about all this in the BlizzCon recap, so
we did.
Too much to really go on here. Diablo Immortal, it was just updates on kind of how the stress test went that they had recently at the beginning of the year. No dates for anything, but they're like, oh, we're hoping to open a beta soon.
Yeah, and I think they even mentioned, they even brought up how the test that they did so far was only a small segment, and that they even have a lot more testing. I forget what he said, but the guy with the phones, what's his name?
Wyatt Chang.
Yes, he said he said that there is more testing than development involved for Diablo Immortal. I think that's how I understood it, saying that we are closer to the finish line because we are now in the testing stages than we are in just straight up developing, which is a nice thing to hear. I still want it. I want to be part of it. Please, 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 please.
Yeah, seriously. And even though it was only a 2-week period, they were like blown away by how much time a lot of the testers put in. Like my friend Leviathan, he put in a lot of work. I watched him stream it, and he was actually either number 1 or very high on one of the leaderboards. And yeah, it was really cool to see. I'm excited for the game. I'm ready for it to come out. Like, I know there's a lot of hate for it, but I love it.
The guy that did the questioning, he was a streamer, and he was very critical of Immortal, and he even said like playing it definitely turned his opinion on it. But they even said that they were shocked. The developers were shocked with how many hours people put into testing this. So that was kind of another nod to how well it was that they could keep putting that many hours in and still get enough content to keep them.
And there is that content like in Diablo 3 with rifts where it's just repeatable content you can play through to power up your character through progression and stuff like that. So,
and it was super cute to hear in the panel how like the developers were like geeking out with the streamers when they were testing.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh yeah,
they were equal fans.
I joined your party to
I saw your stream,
Rift, and I saw your streaming, so I hopped on.
Yeah, like nerds.
And the streamer, I forget his name, but he was like, yeah, I could see like just pulling out my phone on a bus ride or something and playing 10-15 minutes and feeling like I made some progress or whatever. So I think that's a good sign for the game.
By Bloodshed. Bloodshed was the streamer.
Yeah. That was kind of the cool thing. I liked seeing that a lot of these panels were
led by content
creators. I know you complained about that earlier, but that was I know that was separate context for that because the whole panel was being that. I think it was good and a nod to the fact that community is so important to Blizzard.
It worked well in some cases, and it did not work well in other cases.
True.
I think they need to kind of fine tune their content creators and like be very precise with what type of personality.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I love me some nerds though, so I think I'm more jealous.
That was all the BlizzCon Diablo news, but we actually had more Diablo news in the past week with the PTR for
Diablo 3
7.0 for Diablo 3, and this actually has a pretty major revamp to the follower system, which I'm really excited to check out. Players can now equip followers with a total of 14 different item slots, which include the relic, helm, shoulder, chest, gloves, bracers, belt, rings, ×2, neck, pants, boots, main hand weapon, and an offhand. And they're also introducing a follower feature called Emanate, which allows the player to gain the intended effect of certain legendary powers and set bonuses when equipped on the hired follower. So this allows for some really cool builds for solo players. and I'm really excited to see how it works. I mean, they're changing a lot of the followers as well. The let me bring it up because I forget the name of the follower, and I'm totally like having a brain fart
I
here.
just skimmed through it. The follower
The scoundrel.
skills?
The scoundrel's always been like skipped over and no one uses him, but they're buffing him to make him a lot more usable.
Oh, the Templar. I love the
John
Templar.
you.
These are cool.
Yeah.
I forgot about this.
No, I'm excited for this. I mean, it should add some really cool new variety to the gameplay and strategy.
Well, especially for like the solo players like me, it definitely would give me more of a change from what it was originally.
Yeah, and that's actually a thing, kind of a sub community in the Diablo 3 seasons community. Is there's players who will play as self-found, where they don't group up at all and they just play solo and kind of see how far they can go.
Yeah.
In a season. But yeah, that's the Diablo news. Moving on, we actually have some StarCraft news, which I hate to talk about, but I mean, it's the news. We'll talk about it. But the Africa Star League, which is the StarCraft Brood War league out in Korea, is not going to have an English broadcast going forward. It's been 10 seasons of it, and we're not going to hear Artosis and Tasteless on Brood War anymore. I'm sure they'll continue with the StarCraft 2 and GSL. There hasn't been any news about GSL yet. I imagine that's still going. But this sucks. Like, honestly, Friday nights, a lot of the time I would check out ASL because it came on at prime time here on the West Coast around 8-9 o'clock. So it was perfect for right after work. And as someone who's been a StarCraft fan forever,
a little bit,
hearing Tasteless and Artosis is like hearing an old friend. I don't know. It's just really good to hear them, and it really sucks. And I don't know. It just makes me sad.
Yeah, no, it does. And I think especially the fact that there's a reason why they're not continuing it, and that's the even more sad part. Because it's not hard to have an English. Well, I'm over assuming here. I would assume it's not hard to have an English caster or just to have an English translation for this type of stuff. And the fact that they're just like, yeah, no, we're good is like another chapter towards the end of the book that might be the StarCraft series. I don't know.
Who knows? And what's interesting is Tasteless was a little more forthcoming on Twitter about this. He said, to be clear, this was not an issue over payment negotiations. Africa TV has decided to no longer support an English production.
It might not be feasible for them, and there's I don't know. There's not a lot of transparency, but I think we're too emotionally involved and too close to it.
Oh, I am definitely 100%. Watching Brood War without them is going to be strange.
Yeah, for sure. Well, even I know that. Like, I hear their voices. That's where my mind goes automatically.
I mean, it's like we're going backwards in time to the early days of professional
Justin
StarCraft.
TV?
No, before Justin TV. Where you could only watch professional play in Korean because there were no English broadcasters.
I remember watching you watch them.
Yep. Anyways,
moving on to the next game. A little bit.
Hearthstone. That's actually what I didn't mention in Weekend Geek. I've been playing a little bit of Hearthstone Battlegrounds.
Good.
It's been fun. But we did get the Forged in the Barrens expansion announced. It's a horde theme expansion.
Just a little bit.
Tongue tied here. Oh my goodness. But a new mechanic is the rank spell that will grow in power as you reach 5 and 10 mana. Crystals, regardless of whether it's in your hand or deck. So you get to play the cost benefit game of using it now or waiting until it grows in power. So another level of strategy, which will be cool.
I'm so bad at those.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Another really cool thing, this is a change they're just making to general Hearthstone. No matter if you're playing the current current
Card
sets
set?
or legacy or any of that. They're turning spell cards into having magical spell schools. So they're being
Harry
applied
Potter? What?
basically. So this just adds new synergies and layers of depth throughout the collection. Spells in Standard and Wild can now have a tag from one of 7 different schools: Arcane, Fel, Fire, Frost, Holy, Shadow, or Nature. And the example card they put in, what was that?
This does not remind me of Harry Potter. It reminds me of Magic.
Yeah, it is a little bit
Gathering.
similar to Magic.
Oh, man.
But the example they showed was a Spirit Healer, where after you cast a holy spell, give a random friendly minion +2 health. So yeah, it'll be fun little synergies like that.
Well, it's neat how they can categorize them all at this point. Like, this game has grown exponentially that they can even have a subcategory.
Yeah. And then they mentioned there's no shortage of swords for hire within the Alliance Horde. Forged in the Barrens introduced 10 legendary mercenary minions, each representing a different class, whose stories will play out across the Year of the Griffin in an all-new year-long narrative.
I just want Chuck Norris jokes in the game. That's all I care about.
I feel like that's got to be obvious. Oh,
it has to be.
This is insider info.
Ooh, tell me more. It's just us.
So there's a card
allegedly.
It's called BlizzCON, and it's based off the event BlizzCON for BlizzCon. That's what it's named from. Yes.
Oh my gosh! So the day zero.
I'll just say
that you would go to BlizzCon.
I'll just say during our Zoom call, a certain Hearthstone designer showed up and was very shy when directly asked that question.
Wow. So one might assume
yes
that might mean something, or completely not.
Because this Hearthstone card designer, not going to say gender because that might give it away, he or she does attend BlizzCon.
Oh my gosh, how fun! is that meta?
I guess that's meta. I don't
know. Is that a little meta? I'm really good at that definition.
No, it just makes me think of Charlie Balrog fan. Anytime I mention, like, I drop a name or something, he calls me Hollywood Jimmy. It's so funny because I'm so famous and I know all these people and stuff. Oh
my god!
Which is not true, by the way. Please don't.
Should
don't
I start
think
calling
that
you
at all.
Hollywood Jimmy?
No, please don't. No,
dude. Every time we go somewhere, it's okay. Fine, I will not take Charlie's.
We're gonna go down so many stories of me showing up at events, people looking for me.
Just name dropping everything.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
right.
moving
next
on.
Game,
Sorry.
Next game.
There was some Here's the Storm news. Actually, today a balance patch did get released. So head over to the here'sthestorm.com and check out the balance patch there to see if your hero got touched. There's not a better way to. I don't know.
Did you put that in, or was that copy and pasted?
No, I put that in. Those are all my words in there. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
The coffee. I've been yawning like 6 different times this afternoon already. The coffee was just kicking in for that, right? Anyway,
it must have been. I'm still nursing that coffee.
I am super tired right now. It's because it's past midnight.
It's past midnight. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to dig into your IRL loot?
Yes, let's wrap this up here. So of course BlizzCon happened. So that we will talk a little bit about the BlizzCon merch, but I do want to go through a lot of the or several of the non-Blizzard merchandise links I typically scour through. Hot Topic, Box Lunch, Jinx, Loungefly, Jujubee, nothing per their site that was popping up that was new or unique to mention. One that I did notice was a bit of a change, and I don't know if I wasn't digging deep enough into their selection of merch, was ULT Gear. We did cover them multiple times for the fact that they have Overwatch League merchandise of t-shirts and hoodies, but I never noticed the nylon coach jackets. And they have them. It's very similar. That it's just the same type of jacket. Pick a different game, Jimmy. But they have just on the left, is it the left? The left shoulder the logo of the team. So if you have a Vancouver Titans fan, you can then get that on your jacket, your coach jacket.
They look like raincoats. I'm sorry.
Well, to us Californians, this is what a raincoat looks like. They're not anything. And then on the back of it has like the logo text written down on the left-hand side. But this is like a windbreaker for a Californian. They're $60, so they're not, cheap, but they're also not very expensive, I guess you could say. But with Overwatch League just starting up, and I don't know if you have a rainy season or something coming up, who knows if this is your style. It's not ours per se, but Alt Gear does have a lot of variety in that. Why are you doing this to yourself?
They have the old Valiant colors if you want those.
Okay, I'm like, why are you torturing yourself with the Valiant? Like,
I don't know why.
I know. I intentionally did not put one team. I was like, I'll put all the teams Jimmy could pick from. He specifically went to Valiant. This is called
yeah.
Okay, moving on. Amazon. So I pulled up Amazon and I just typed in World of Warcraft, and of course my favorite, Amazon knows me really well. Jujubee merchandise came up, and I noticed that some of the older season of the Jujubee merch, actually I should grab it right now, 1 second. The previous patterns, I guess I could say.
Yeah. So this is considered a small backpack. Is that only 6 slots?
No, it's small in dimensions. So it's a smaller rectangle that goes in the back. Oh my god, you did a World of Warcraft joke.
I'm trying so hard and it's just not working tonight.
I'm so tired.
I am
so tired. Sorry. That was good. It was good, babe. It was good.
Someone tell me that was a good joke. Please.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke. I'm thinking like analytical merch stuff right now. That was a good joke.
Oh.
I am proud of you. We can clip that.
It's part of the World of Warcraft collection. So I was like, well, if it's small, it's only 6 slots.
Babe, you should clip that.
Okay.
You should clip that. All right. So back to the merch. So it's the older version of the Jujubee stuff. So this is like the newer pattern. More specifically, you can tell the different generations of it. The newer pattern has, the most recent one I should say, has Illidan and Jaina and what's the orc that died from Sylvanas spoiler?
Saurfang.
So it has these type of characters on it, but the backpack on the Amazon link is the one with Tyrande and her saber mouth. Tyrande, thank you. You're the night elf. And then that one, the small backpack in real life is $35 on Amazon. Right now, there's like 14 or so of them left. Normally it's $75, but I'm more shocked of the fact that they actually have the older pattern.
Yeah.
That I might message a few friends of ours that loved this pattern and be like, yo, this backpack, 1 is on sale for like half price, and 2, it's the older series if you really love that pattern.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to derail this for like 2 seconds.
Sure.
But why is the little skull on the Helm of Domination on Arthas so freaking cute?
Because it's a Keep It Deadly series.
I know it's Keep It Deadly, but why is it so cute?
Because I have a skull pillow on my bed because skulls can be cute.
Okay.
What do you have against skulls?
I don't have anything against skulls. I feel like I'd never seen that before. It's like grinning and smiling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It has happy eyes.
I just find that funny.
Oh yeah. They make Deathwing look adorable, dude. Of course. No, is that Deathwing or is that Nixia? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Anyways. And then they also have on Amazon the lightweight zippered tote from Jujubee, the everyday lightweight zippered tote. Mm-hmm. I don't know this. I don't have this tote. I don't think Jujubee makes this tote anymore from what I remember on their website, but it's that same previous pattern. Actually, this is a different pattern now that I look at it because this has Arthas and Illidan. So maybe, I don't know.
It's the same pattern.
Okay. It's the same pattern.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that it's the older World of Warcraft Jujubee pattern.
That's kind
normally
of
you have to go.
Yeah.
You have to usually go on eBay and find it, and people usually hike up the price because it's no longer printed, and that's $27. Mm-hmm. So if anything, go onto Amazon, type in Jujubee World of Warcraft collection, Cute But Deadly, or if you really like the March of the Murlocs, they actually have the 2 different color variations of the March of the Murloc series. And once again, I'm going to send this to a couple of friends because, if you have one bag and these bags are amazing and you love it, they're expensive, you don't buy a second one, we'll get for a cheaper price on Amazon. And you can always return it. If it is a knockoff, I don't think it is. Definitely go check it out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So a little bit now on Blizzard Gear Store, the digital stuff, we intentionally didn't mention it in the games when we were talking about the news because, I talk about buying stuff. I can talk about digital buying stuff. The first one comes up is the Diablo 2 Resurrected pre-order. Jimmy said he's not buying it. I'm on the fence. But if you want to pre-order the game, you can definitely get it. There are 2 packs. There is the base version of $40, $39.99 for Diablo 2 Resurrected, or if you want to get the Prime Evil collection for $60, which is just Diablo 3 with Diablo 2, right?
Yeah, but now that I'm reading it, there's a Mephisto pet and Hatred's Grasp Wings for Diablo 3. Does that not come in the Diablo 2 pack by itself?
I don't think so. I think that's new.
Because the reason I asked is because it's showing me the package deal as an upgrade because I already own Diablo 3 and this expansion and the Necromancer DLC as $50 for me to upgrade to this.
Oh, see, and it shows without logged in $60.
Yeah, it's $60.
Interesting. So I think this armor or this cosmetic is new.
It might be. Yeah. It's got to be separate from what we got in the 30th anniversary collection.
It looks really cool though. Like those wings and the metal, the muscles, not metal, just hanging from it is terrifying. Yep. So maybe that might be an upgrade worth buying, especially if you have Diablo 3. So that's cool to know. And then
really quickly, I want to interject something because I didn't put this in the notes. But if you didn't see this, the Blizzard Arcade Collection also got announced.
Oh yeah, you're right. And you played a little bit of this during BlizzCon.
Yeah, and I do want to say I actually played this, and the Rock and Roll Racing. I wasn't expect it to be like super updated or anything, but it has the actual full music from the games in it. And I think what's really cool about it is it's really like a very nice like legacy collection, like it's more than the bare minimum, I'll say. And it's so you have like
the bare
minimum. So there's like the Super Nintendo version and the Genesis version of Rock and Roll Racing and the upgraded remastered version.
Yeah. I remember you mentioned that and how you were like impressed that they didn't have to do that feature, but they did. Kind of like what they did with they did a Diablo game, right? That's in January, the anniversary. They do like the pixelated Diablo. But here you can just switch it, right?
Yeah. No, you can't on the fly. You pick what version you want to play, basically.
But you log in, you turn it on.
So yeah, if you're wanting to get this on PC, it's part of the Celebration Collection, the 30th anniversary stuff. It's included in that. If you don't want to buy that for some reason, it's $20 separately. But it's also, what's nice, it's also available on Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Oh, that's
so if you want to buy it there, they're $20 a piece there. But yeah, I mean, this has all the modern stuff we expect from a classic collection like this, with rewinds and save states and stuff like that. And there's a nice museum as well in it for artwork and interviews and stuff like that. But definitely really the Rock and Roll Racing felt like this is the culmination of what like their vision of that game was at the time. But they were obviously restricted by Super Nintendo
technology.
Genesis hardware. You know what the songs are, but they're not the real songs. Anyways, sorry, that was all.
No, that's a good one. I completely forgot about that because I remember you mentioned it and you really, really liked it. And that's a cool perk of having BlizzCon come out with stuff like that. And we didn't really talk about it for whatever reason. We were more focused on the current IPs.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then, on to more digital stuff from Blizzard. Hearthstone, we mentioned earlier, is the Forge in the Barrens is the new expansion. Is that the phrase?
Yeah.
And the pre-order for it is $50, or the mega bundle is $80, and that just means you get more cards, I believe, right? Yeah, you got a special card. So, there's the chart. So the mega bundle, let's go with the regular bundle. You get the Hamul card back, you get 60 forged Baron packs, and 2 random forged in the Baron's legendary cards. For the mega bundle, you get all of those, plus a Hamul Rune Totem alternate hero battleground perks, 2 random golden forged in the Baron's legendary cards, 5 golden forged in the Baron packs, and 80 forged in the Baron pack. So a lot of cards if you spend $80. Not a surprise.
Yeah, if you play a lot of Hearthstone, definitely the $80 is going to be the best
bang for your buck. We're so
I hate
tired.
that phrase so much.
So good.
It is
okay.
what it is.
And then a few more Hearthstone time-locked purchases for some odd reason. The Gladiator Valeria hero is $10 right now until March 8th. You got less than a week. You got 5 days.
Go fast.
Mm-hmm. And with this one, you get some card backs, and you get the Gladiator Valera hero skin.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to play her hero, Book of Heroes.
Yeah, that's free at least. So
thank
you don't
goodness.
have to pay for that. The other thing with Hearthstone is they do have the Madness of the Darkmoon Fair Races mini set still available for $15. That gives you 66 total cards, 35 unique cards. You probably need this if you're playing competitively.
Yeah.
Just so you have the full lineup of cards. But the nice thing about this is you get the entire collection of this like mini expansion, mini set. They call it a mini set. So there we go. Yeah. More available through May 10th. So
if you want to collect them all, like Pokemon, $15 by May 10th. Let's see. And then, so for BlizzCon, the whole time leading up to BlizzCon, I'm like, I am so excited for all the cool stuff BlizzCon's going to have for merch. And we only have a couple things that we would like to buy, but haven't bought because we haven't felt the need to buy, which is a little disheartening. So we'll just go through our top 2 favorites of like we would buy if we had like a gift card or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The first is the book that is coming out, I believe. Is it out yet? I forgot. It's the cookbook that they actually talked about.
It says it will be shipped no later than June 1st. So
it's a World of Warcraft New Flavors of Azeroth official cookbook. It's just another continuation of video game foods. And in the BlizzCon, they actually did a cook through the Fell burgers and the seafood. The seafood feast, or like Heroes Feast, play on words. It looks amazing. Did we buy the first cookbook of World of Warcraft?
I have it. My parents actually got it for me as a Christmas gift, I believe.
Perfect. So Christmas gift for this year, parents. Get us the second one. But yeah, it just looks really cool. The artwork, and I even love how they put in artwork like from the video game in the pages. If you go through this, like slide through the pages for me, you can actually see artwork from the game or sketches. So they definitely fill it with a lot of video game stuff besides just recipe cards and pretty food pictures. So I definitely would like to check that out in person as a gift. And then the second thing I had on my wish list was the Gilmer World of Warcraft Murloc plush. I love me a good plush. I love me some purple, but it's just a regular plush. There's no blades. There's no cool fell thing. I'm totally looking at that Illidan China thing that they got, but we didn't. It's just a purple Murloc plush for $20.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
When it's like on sale.
Yeah. And there really wasn't a whole lot that jumped out at me, but I mean, the Lost Vikings t-shirt, because I really like Lost Vikings. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's really vibrant.
Yeah, and it has the Blizzard Arcade Collection logo on the back and a 30th anniversary logo on the sleeve. And
I will make note.
Oh, go ahead.
Really quick. Their sizing is huge in a good way. They go from small to 5XL on some of these t-shirts, and that is fantastic because I know a lot of people complain about the sizing being very limited. So that is something to take note in that one. I just noticed it. Sorry.
Yeah, and then also the original StarCraft retro box art T-shirt. That would definitely be something I would rock.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely be I'm gonna buy it. I'll buy that for you when it's on sale.
Exactly.
For Christmas or your birthday, and I'll hold on to it and give it to you then. Because that is like, I'm surprised you don't have a T-shirt of that logo already.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I don't know. Although it's interesting, they say for the StarCraft one, it's a special event item, be shipped no later than March 31st.
But it's from Jinx.
Oh, it's from Jinx.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe the phonetics is.
I don't know.
Maybe
it's exclusive for the Blizzard Gear Store for a little bit.
Oh, maybe that might be a thing. Yeah. But and I think the one disappointing thing I've noticed is I remember you saying how phonetics T-shirts are not the best quality, and you said that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm now seeing a lot of people that sharing on Facebook groups that the BlizzCon merch is coming in from delayed shipping or what have you, and the phonetics T-shirts aren't really living up to the standards people had hoped for, which is disheartening to hear, because a lot of the BlizzCon T-shirts were made from them or through them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hopeful that they don't. And then it's also the same idea of like the posters. We can't buy the posters unframed or not on canvas for the key art, and it's like, but a lot of people want just the poster. And also, where's my magnet? There is no key art magnet to put on my computer. So I'm quite upset.
Yeah, and the poster you're talking about people complaining about the quality was the BlizzCONline t-shirt. And I almost want to get it just because I have every single other BlizzCon shirt, but like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I care enough.
And I want a magnet, because a magnet would be a small way for me to keep the key art. To be fair,
I only got the BlizzCon 2019 shirt because we went to the employee sidewalk sale.
Yeah, it's true.
I didn't get it at the BlizzCon.
That's
the actual BlizzCon.
You're not as loyal as you think you are, Jimmy.
I know.
I'm disappointed. That or a good sale gets us every time.
Yeah, a good sale always gets us. Because I bought the stupid Time Walker box for like regular price at that event.
Yep. Yes, you did. It's on that bookshelf behind you.
I got a plushie out of it, so.
You did. All right.
Oh, man.
We are at an hour and a half.
Oh, my gosh. That's going to bring us to the end of our show, though, for episode 27. Now, Wednesday, March 3rd.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging out and joining us. Those of you on the live stream, thank you. Those of you listening to the podcast, thank you. Those of you watching YouTube, thank you.
Thank you.
You can always check out old episodes at nexuspodcast.com, where it's available on all the major platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn. Follow the conversation online, hashtag Nexus Podcast, and old video episodes at youtube.com/DJ Tyrant. You can follow me on social media at DJ Tyrant, and I have a link tree there to everywhere else you can interact with us for Nexus Podcast on Facebook, Discord, all that stuff. And Heather is at...
Find me at H Sailor Moon. I'm streaming on Twitch, and I'm on Instagram as always. But H Sailor Moon.
For chill vibes, follow her. For raging at people during Mythic Keys, follow me.
You. Yes. 100% accurate.
Yeah. But that is going to be episode 27. Thank you, everyone, for your support. And as always,
don't forget to
stay tight.
Love it.